Hello everybody, welcome to the Daily Sip. My name is Oliver. My mission is to bring you closer to organic Japanese green tea. And what we're gonna dive into today is tea blends. So blended teas is actually in the focus of today, but what we want to dive into is what actually is a blended tea or a tea blend which comes from a higher grade tea like a Gyokuro. So today I have two stars in my daily sip, which is on the one hand here we have a single cultivar Chamusume Gyokuro from Mr. Sakamoto, which is from the south of Japan, so in the region of Kagoshima. And this tea is a single cultivar, so it's coming from one varietal, which is called the Yabukita. On the other hand, we have the Sasahime, which is a blend of three main cultivars. Here we have the Saemidori, we have Okumidori, and we have the Yabukita. So here we're talking about the tea blend, and with the other tea we talk about the single cultivar tea. But what are actually tea blends? So tea blends developed mainly for also the tea bag or the bigger industry for tea bags. It was mainly to mix together different flavors, also from different regions, not only from different varietals, to get a distinctive or a special taste for a tea. There can also be added flavors, for example, to it, but we also talk about only just maybe mixing together different seasons or teas from different seasons. Sometimes even when you mix together a little bit of lower quality tea with a high quality tea blended together, then the better quality tea covers a little bit the weaker taste or the flatter taste of the lower quality. And this is how you also are able to expand the amount of tea you're selling. So blend, finally, it is mainly known in the black tea section. So green tea blends are not so much known. But in Japan, for a long time, there were only tea blends available because Japanese always tried also to get a similar taste every year from season to season. And this is finally the main goal of a tea blend, that you actually can, as a tea producer, have the same taste for a tea year over year, and it is really the same taste experience. And this is why tea blend, so this is actually the goal of a tea blend here in this case. So when we look at the green tea or the high quality green tea leaves here with the Gyokuro, we are talking about the tea blend which is then bringing together distinctive sweet flavors of the cultivar which it carries. So it's not something to cover up any tastes of kind of a later cultivar and with a fresher cultivar. Mr. Sakamoto, who is the farmer of this tea, only does one yield per year, which is a common thing for especially higher quality leaves, as the plants need to really absorb all the nutrients. So he only does one harvest in the springtime, and as soon as this is done, then he leaves the plant and then they can recover for the next year. So here we talk not about different seasons, so we talk about spring harvest, and we talk about three cultivars which are quite strong in the sweetness, especially the Saemidori, which is the first cultivar of this tea. It has very sweet and smooth flavors. Sometimes when you're getting in touch with it, often you maybe might remember a very soft hint of light sweetness to it. Meanwhile, the Okumidori, which is a hybrid of a Sarai number 16 together with the Yabukita. So it was crossbreed in the 50s of the last century. And then this tea especially is good in terms of its smooth and sweetness and full body. And the Yabukita itself, it is the most spread cultivar, which is also the single cultivar Chamusume we have here. And this tea varietal is also quite frost resistant. That's why it's very widespread, especially in Shizuoka, but also in the south of Japan. It gives a good yield. It has a good umami taste, so a little bit of a savory taste note. And it also, in my opinion, shows quite a broad array of different flavor profiles, a little bit from a vegetal side, a little bit also of astringency, and the umami taste I mentioned before. So here we have two different blends, and I really want to, one blend and one single cultivar, so I really want to dive into the two teas and see a little bit what are the taste differences. When we already look at the leaves, we see that the Sasahime comes from teas which have a little bit smaller leaves, and this is also, especially the Saemidori, is a smaller leaf tea. Then we have the Yabukita and the Okumidori, which are around the same size. So you have a little bit a mix of smaller leaves and bigger leaves, which you can see here on the left side for the Sasahime. If you look at the Chamosume, we can really see there are big leaves in it, so it's quite a bigger leafed tea. But finally, there are no massive differences between the teas. Both of them are shaded for 21 days. Both of them are harvested at the same time. Both of them same farmer, same terroir. So quite similar teas in terms of their origin. Here we really talk about a blend versus a single cultivar tea. So let's go into the tasting of these two teas and let's have a look how they taste. So we use 5 grams of each tea. That's what I prepared here. And we're gonna use around 65 degrees Celsius water, which is around 155 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're gonna leave it for around 2 minutes. 2 minutes is the perfect time what you can leave a Gyokuro for. You can even go up to 3 minutes, but you shouldn't get too long, otherwise you also have more of the catechins coming into the water, meaning that the tea turns a little bit more bitter. And this is also, when you're, for example, sick, a good thing, but when you want to really go for the taste of the tea, then you better go between 2 and 3 minutes. So that's what we're gonna do here, and let's see how this tea turned out. So the 2 minutes are up. Let's take first the Sasahime, pour it. Try to get out all of the drops so there's no after brewing of the tea. And open up the Kyusu a little bit after you have used second one. Good. Very well. So what you already can see when you look at the liquors of these two tea, you can see that the Yabukita is a little bit darker golden, while this one here, so the blend has a little bit more of a milky and a little bit more seems of a richer amount of essential oils. What I know is that the Okumidori as well as the Saemidori have a slightly higher concentration of L-theanine, which is the amino acids which gives you a little bit this more calming and a little bit more this relaxed state of mind. What the difference is that we only talk about certain percentage points. So there's not a huge difference, but what I expect actually in terms of taste, as the theanine has quite a big influence in the umami flavor taste, I believe this tea to be a little bit sweeter, a little bit richer in umami than the Yabukita. Even though the farmers say Yabukita is a nice umami flavor, but what they actually mean is that a frost-resistant plant which gives a nice umami is Yabukita. But in terms of really umami, or if you're looking for this a little bit more savory umami flavor taste, then the Saemidori or the Okumidori can be a good choice for you. So let's see what the difference is. Maybe let's start first with the Yabukita. So we have a very, very beautiful sweet taste. There's quite a nice grassy, nearly a little bit of a haze flavor swinging with it. So I have a nice spinachy edamame flavor profile. And going over into a nice umami flavor with a very, very slight astringency to it. So there's a small hint of astringency, but you really have to look for it, and then it turns over into this sweet corn, a little bit more savory flavor profile, which is then really showing the nice umami flavor of this tea. Now let's go to the blend. So the Sasahime. So clear difference. Here we go in the beginning a little bit into this green edamame flavor, grassy, spinachy flavor, and then turning back into the kind of the sweetness of the umami as well, and the savory taste profile. Here we got more fruitiness in the tea. So with this one here, I got much more of a little bit of a, I would say, slight mango flavor profile, a little bit with a banana peel. Yeah, it's very sweet. It's really on this banana peel, mango flavor profile, maybe a little bit of pineapple. And then it turns back. It doesn't show this kind of fresh grassiness, much less. So here we have much more of a, this a little bit, seems a little bit this chlorophyll, grassy, spinachy tones, which you don't get here. Here you really turn around this fruitiness. And it seems that this tea has a slight hint more of acidity with it, while this one here really is smooth and then goes also over into a smooth umami flavor, while this one here in the middle has a little bit kind of a tingling more on the top of the tongue, which you get, while this one here really is smooth, creamy, really beautiful kind of sweet flavor profile, and then turning over into the umami flavor, which is in the end. So very, very clear the difference between these two. So if you're looking, so it really depends what you are looking a little bit for in a tea when you're going for a Gyokuro. So the Yabukita in general, I would say, very nice kind of sweet edamame, spinachy, vegetal tones in the beginning, and then turning over into a very beautiful kind of savory taste profile. A little bit of acidity, so a little bit of a tingling on the top of the tongue, but very beautiful. Still on the sweet side, so there's no kind of strong astringency or anything overwhelming. So very, very smooth and sweet tea. While we know that the Saemidori, Okumidori, they are in general a little bit sweet, a little bit richer in theanine, and this manifests itself really in the tones of the fruit, of the mango, of the banana peel, and then going over into a beautiful sweet kind of taste profile of this savoriness of the umami final. So it is much of a different kind of incoming. Here we have more of the vegetal sweetness, and here we have really the fruity tones, which are again going over into the umami flavor profile. So this is the main difference of these two teas. So if you have ever any questions about tea blends or about how a Japanese green tea is blended, or anything else you would like to know about Gyokuro, for example, please leave me a message, ask me anything, I'll be happy to answer. And yeah, I would say until next time, my friends, see you and bye bye.